Our final Teal Tuesday this season. We're in downtown Phoenix, our penultimate home game in 2018. As we continue this series with Los Angeles, we are just about set to go for the D-backs and the Dodgers on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Renly along the way. The second of a three-game series, D-backs and Dodgers. And suddenly the fight for postseason has become the fight for 500. D-backs need a win tonight to maintain a winning record this year. And Bob, they'll hand the ball to Matt Cook.
Matt Cook has to be excited to take the ball on actually what would be considered a normal turn. His last start, Diamondbacks fans will remember, was filling in for Clay Buchholz. He didn't realize he was going to pitch until they were playing the national anthem. His most recent outing came against the Cubs out of the bullpen. 4 innings of shutout baseball against the Cubs in that game.
Well, we got our first up close and personal look at Walker Buehler. The Dodgers started tonight earlier this month. He has got a wicked fastball.
Boy, he really does. 3-2 over his last 10 starts with 5 no decisions, but he's pitched to a 1.58 ERA, a 1.63 opponent's batting average. This guy is a handful.
Need a win. D-backs and Dodgers on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By BJ's Restaurant and Brewhouse. Visit bjrestaurants.com to find a location near you. By the NASCAR Can-Am 500 at ISM Raceway, November 9th, 10th, and 11th. By the Hot Bike Tour. Visit hotbikeweb.com and join the ride. And by your Valley Honda dealer, where you'll get more standard features for less money. Brought to you by Jack in the Box. This season, D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. By Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By First Watch, the Daytime Cafe. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The Card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the Card today. Well, no matter what we've all been through this month, no better way to end the home schedule in 2018 than with a series win against the Dodgers. It starts next. Arizona. We're all opened up here at Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly, Kay Longworth with you. It's Matt Cook and the D-backs, the second of a three-game series against the LA Dodgers, who come in here with 88 wins, holding a game-and-a-half lead over the Rockies atop the National League West. Matt Cook and company trying to slow down this blue train. They've won 10 of 12. Dodgers 21-8 since August 24th. That's the best record in the National League over that span. And here's the LA batting order tonight, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Jock Peterson once again leading it off out in left field. Justin Turner will be at third base. Max Muncy playing first tonight. Manny Machado will be at shortstop. Cody Bellinger out in center field with Yasiel Puig in right. Yasmani Grandal doing the catching. Kike Hernandez moves into second base this evening. And right-hander Walker Buehler on the mound for the Dodgers.
Here, Ram Truck starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks is the right-hander Matt Cook. Matt 5-5, a 4.26 ERA, getting his first scheduled start for the D-backs since June 19th. As you mentioned, Bobby had to fill in an emergency starting role a couple of weeks ago in Colorado.
Yeah, we mentioned in the open he didn't know he was pitching until they were playing the national anthem at Coors Field. So obviously short notice that particular game, and then a 4-inning outing against the Cubs out of the bullpen in relief of Matt Andriese in that game was really good for 4 innings.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the Diamondback defense.
David Peralta will be out in left field. A.J. Pollock in center. John Jay once again in right field. Chris Owings will be at third base tonight with Ketel Marte at shortstop. Daniel Descalso at second base. Paul Goldschmidt back in the lineup at first. John Ryan Murphy doing the catching for right-hander Matt Cook.
Marty Foster is our plate umpire tonight, calling the balls and strikes. Mark Ripperger's at first base. Doug Eddings at second. The crew chief is the Cowboy Joe West, who's having, I hope, some fun with the camera crews here. Joe does not like the lenses to extend over the fence there, and he's giving the camera people a very hard time as they try to bring you this baseball game.
Yeah, it's amazing. He can see a camera leaning an inch over the railing, but he misses strikes by 6 feet.
Having said that, let's play some baseball. Jock Peterson leads it off for the Dodgers, and we are set to go, provided it's okay with Joe West. 252, 24 homers. D-backs still a chance to end this season with a series win against LA if they can win tonight and tomorrow night. They got Greinke on the mound tomorrow. Torey Lovullo's ball club needs a win tonight. Otherwise it's 500, 79-79, which just seemed a month ago inconceivable. But we all know what the D-backs have been through. 5-17 in September so far. There's that good cutter. Matt Cook going to come in with that cutter, then maybe kind of chip away with it down and away to these lefties, mix in a changeup or two, and that's going to be the plan of attack.
That looked like a strike. John Ryan Murphy didn't get a leather on it. Right there at the bottom of the zone. Slight delay while the ball boy chases down that errant pitch. It got stuck behind the padding behind home plate. I think we're good to go now.
Changeup misses low. Peterson lays off. He was 0 for 2 with a walk last night. Just about every Dodger played in the ball game last night. Their entire 40-man roster is here and in uniform. There's a good changeup for Matt Cook. He gets his first strikeout. Well, that changeup has been really effective for Matt this year.
Yeah, good change of speeds, good movement as that ball gets into the hitting zone. Just kind of bottomed out and fell away from Jock Peterson that time for strike 3.
The Red Menace, Justin Turner, having a monster year. 319, 13 homers, but don't forget those numbers might not jump out at you, but he missed 6 weeks to start the year with that left wrist fracture. Suffered during spring training. He's not stopped hitting since he came back. Fastball is skied to center for AJ. Well, 2 outs on 6 pitches for Matt Cook brings up Max Muncy. We were talking about this last night, Bob, as Robbie Ray labored through another long 20+ pitch first inning. Can't remember the last time a Diamondback starter had even a 9 or 10 pitch first. Off to a quick, efficient start. Robbie last night, 2 runs, 4 hits. He went 5. Statcast AI powered by AWS. There is the overshift for Max Muncy, the first baseman tonight, who's got 33 home runs to lead the Dodgers. Looks at a fastball away, 1-0.
Yeah, Muncy really crossed up the shift last night in that 7th inning against Brad Ziegler. Shot one of those sinkers low and away out into left field. That's not his normal MO, but I think it was a good approach against Brad Ziegler and worked for him last night.
Yeah, Muncy singled and walked last night, drove in a run, scored a run. That single against Ziegler in the 7th wound up tying the ball game 3-3 as the Dodgers went on to a 7-4 win. Floated that changeup up and away, but got the call. 2-1. That's not where you want that pitch, ideally. Especially to a guy who's got 33 homers. John Ryan Murphy back there again tonight. Missed badly with a cutter away, and now it's 3-1. Manny Machado, the on-deck hitter. Well, he loses Muncy. A 2-out walk brings up Machado, and he will take his sweet time getting into the box. He is never in any hurry, even after he's hit the ball.
Yeah.
This was Machado last night in no rush after a ball missed a home run, went off the wall behind Chris Owings in right, and then he had to kick it into high gear.
I know there's people out there that say, well, what's the big deal? He wasn't going to get any farther than second base anyway. But we've seen it so many times this year when guys stand at home plate and watch what they think is going to be a home run and then have to slide headfirst into second base to make it.
Chris Owings at third, going the short way for the force on Muncy. Matt Cook through the first. D-backs coming up. The Dodgers, there he is, Walker Buehler, the 24-year-old rookie right-hander who just struck out a career-high 12 Rockies in 6 innings last Wednesday. Jay gets us started. There's that fastball. You're going to see a lot of that tonight. This guy has got a tremendous fastball. It doesn't get up 99, 100. We're not talking about that, but it's got mid to upper 90s velocity and a lot of late life. It's just, for whatever reason, it's a big swing and miss pitch for him.
He actually throws 3 different fastballs. The one you're talking about, that 4-seamer, we've seen up in the zone already. He'll occasionally sink it and cut it. This guy is mature beyond his years out there on the mound.
Vanderbilt product. He's got a good slider that he'll throw for strikes in the zone a lot more often than most pitchers who use the slider as a chase pitch, like Patrick Corbin, for instance. That's bounced in the hole at third. Turner's got it. They retire Jay. Here's the D-backs lineup tonight, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Right fielder John Jay goes down on that ground ball to third base. Ketel Marte, big night last night. He'll be at shortstop this evening. David Peralta out in left field. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Daniel Descalso at second. A.J. Pollock will be in center field. Chris Owings at third base. John Ryan Murphy doing the catching, and Matt Cook on the mound.
Well, it sure was a big night for Ketel Marte last night. A double shy of the cycle. He knocked in 3 runs. Homer is 13th of the year. What'd that go? 455. They figured
455.
Off the wall out there in left center behind the seats. That cutter misses in. He also hit a triple. Ketel Marte leads the majors with a dozen triples this year. All 3 hits drove in runs. That fastball really sailed on Walker Buehler. He's out of Lexington, Kentucky. A first-round draft pick by the Dodgers out of Vanderbilt in a 2015 draft. Had Tommy John surgery before he even debuted as a professional. Had the surgery right after the draft out of college. This is punched down the line and slicing out of play. So as soon as he signed, he had the surgery. He missed nearly all of 2016. Pitched in the minors for the most part last year and has had a terrific rookie season this year. They hung that curveball up and Marte belts it into right center. That's what Buehler throws as a changeup. He doesn't really have a change, so for off-speed pitches, he'll throw that big loopy curveball, and Marte knocked it into right center field. Here's the Dodger defense. That's brought to you by E.B. Marshall Jewelers.
Yasiel Puig out in right field. Cody Bellinger in center field. Jock Peterson in the left. It'll be Justin Turner and Manny Machado on the left side of the infield. Kike Hernandez and Max Muncy on the right side, with Yasmani Grandal doing the catching for right-hander Walker Buehler.
Anyone? David Peralta has raised, lowered his batting average. The second, Hernandez, Machado, and they turn the double play. We played one, no score, D-backs and Dodgers.
As Christian Walker took a pitch off his face, and fortunately he is back here at the game. No signs of concussion. However, he does have a fractured sinus bone and will undergo surgery tomorrow. His jaw will be wired shut for a week, and he will be on an all-liquid diet for a month. Christian expressing just how frustrating it is to go through this injury right now, because he was going to be getting more reps in these games. And Torrey was actually going to try to give him a look in the outfield, and although Christian can barely move his mouth muscles down there, he did crack a smile when he said, well, obviously I'm going to have to play in the outfield. That's my future here, as long as they've got Paul Goldschmidt on first base. But of course, guys, laughing aside, we wish him the best. He's looking for ideas on how to keep the weight on when he's on an all-liquid diet. And I don't see the problem. I'm talking milkshakes, right? That should do it.
What's your secret, Bob?
Oh, I've got my own liquid diet I go to from time to time.
A lot more often this month, I've noticed. There's the overshift for Cody Bellinger, who's in center field today. Yeah, they've been experimenting a little bit with Christian Walker in the outfield at the minor league level. He's played some outfield in Reno. So Torey Lovullo a little short-handed, which is odd considering it's September with roster expansion. Patrick Kivlahan is also unavailable. He's not even here. He's on paternity leave and was yesterday and will be for the rest of this series. So that's two right-hand bats that Torey does not have tonight, Walker and Kivlahan. 2-2 on Bellinger. And this one is headed for the seats. Bellinger's 24th, and it's 1-0 LA.
Pretty nice adjustment there in mid at bat by Bellinger. He cooked through a fastball right by him. Just blew it by him, and then Bellinger made the adjustment, pulled his hands in a little bit closer to his body, got the barrel on that one, and no doubter to right field.
4:22, halfway up the bleachers out there, and now it's Yasiel Puig. Puig singled, scored a run last night. He steps in at 273 with 22 home runs. Having a big month of September. Dodgers a game and a half ahead of Colorado atop the National League West. The Rockies hosting the Phillies again tonight. Colorado has a 3-1 lead. They're in the 4th inning. At Coors, the Cardinals are in trouble of losing that second National League wild card. The Brewers are winning again in St. Louis. It's 7-3 Milwaukee. They're in the 5th. That one's fouled away again. It's 1-2. So those are the two scores we're looking at tonight. The Cardinals have the second wild card right now, just ahead of Colorado, which is right on the Dodgers' heels in the division as well. Puig this month hitting .364. He's got 7 home runs in September. The catcher Yasmani Grandal on deck. And this is a line drive out to left. Peralta back it up. He's got it.
David Dahl with a three-run homer rather for the Rockies in that ball game, spotting them to that 3-1 lead over the Phillies.
Time, Bob, for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
Well, break the cycle. When things are going good, it seems like teams find ways to win ball games, and when things are going bad, you find ways to lose ball games. Unfortunately, that's been the cycle the Diamondbacks have found themselves in recently. They just seem to find ways to lose every night. Got to break that cycle.
Yasmani Grandal, the catcher, starts him off with a breaking ball for a strike. Grandal walked twice last night. 233, 24 home runs. And that is belted into right center field. One out single for Grandal, and the batter is Kike Hernandez. And the cycle has been troubling. Diamondbacks have lost 4 straight, 8 of 9, 13 of 16, and 22 of their last 30. Hernandez, the second baseman tonight, 239. He's got 21 home runs. Change up but in for a strike. Kike walked, struck out last night. Just about everybody for the Dodgers other than Turner and Machado played half the game. As you can, with 40 players over there all in uniform, you can flip this lineup over twice and Roberts would still have guys left over. Can Goldie get there? He's there and foul ground. It just dropped in front, trying to make the over the shoulder catch.
Goldie may have actually had a chance to turn around and square up back toward home plate, but he's made that catch so many times over his shoulder, you just assume he's going to make the play. It's a little too far underneath the ball that time.
That's an E3. That's one of the things he does best. That's a very difficult error. That's a tough play. I'm not going to make excuses for Paul, but wow. Bouncer to short. Marte. Descalso. And they can't turn two. Hernandez runs pretty well. Walker Buehler is the pitcher. Bats ninth. 6 base hits on the year. Broken bat, one hopper right to Marte, and they get the force on Hernandez. Bellinger's homer makes it 1-0 LA. Our D-backs 50-50 charity raffle presented by the Arizona Lottery. From home, along with all the fans at Chase Field, you can win half the pot, help the kids in our community. Get your tickets online during every D-backs home game on Fox Sports Arizona at dbacks.com/50-50 raffle. And the winning number is revealed on tonight's D-backs live postgame show. Goldie leads off the bottom of the second against Walker Buehler. Jackpot already over $6,000, and it's only the second inning. Goldie 293, 33 home runs. That OPS is second in the National League behind only Milwaukee's Christian Yelich, who looks like he might wind up with an MVP award.
Boy, he's not slowing down at all. You know, you expect a player to go through a hot stretch and then maybe cool off for a little while, but that has not been the case with Christian Yelich. He just gets hotter every day.
Brewers again leading at St. Louis 7-3. They're in the fifth. That's fouled back to the screen. Goldie struck out in his only at bat last night, and he's been a little quiet lately. 1 for 14 in his last 5 games. There was some hope, and there still is, he would finish the season with a .300 batting average, but he's going backwards right now. Got another fastball from Buehler at 97. It's 1-2.
Oh, by the way, Christian Yelich 1 for 3 in the ball game tonight, but the one was a big one, a triple with the bases loaded.
The Fighting Craig Counsell's in Milwaukee. They got something going, giving the Cubs a run for that division lead. Cubs right now are at home, but they trail the Pirates 4-0. They're in the fourth. Beat LA, that's the motto. Can still finish the home schedule this year with a series win against these guys. But there's that Buehler fastball. He gets a lot of swings and misses on his fastball. That's his first strikeout.
Second baseman, number 3,
Daniel Descalso, a left-hand bat in there for Torey Lovullo tonight against the righty Buehler. 238, 13 homers. Dodgers put 3 defenders on the right side of the infield. Cutter's a strike. As Bob mentioned, Buehler with that fastball, he'll throw the 4-seamer, he'll cut it, he'll sink it. And he'll throw that slider for strikes along with a slow curveball. That was the slow curve right there. Just a little low. Descalso lays off, and it's 1-1. That is what he uses as an off-speed pitch. There is no changeup. That's out of play. As we mentioned in the open, Walker Buehler in his last 10 starts has an ERA of 1.58. He has been absolutely dominant lately. And that fastball has been very effective against left-hand batters like Descalso right now. It's 1-2. Wanted it up at 97. It's hit the other way, but Peterson runs it down. 2 outs. That brings up AJ. Well, another home run for AJ last night. And you look up, that was his 20th. That actually ties his career high. And he's still got a handful of games to set a new mark. He's homered twice in his last 3 games. Dodgers have 3 infielders on the left side against Pollock. Slider's a strike. That's the slider that Buehler will throw in the strike zone to land for a strike rather than trying to get hitters to chase it out of the zone. There's the slider again. High in the air, very short right. And Muncy's able to track it down. Buehler set down 4 in a row. He leads it 1-0. time for the Lows. Whole team together. Dodgers at home this year. D-backs ERA 3.35 against these guys at Chase Field. They're only hitting .205 in this ballpark this year. As Peterson, who struck out to lead it off, starts the third. Peterson's another guy having a big September. You got to be careful here. He's homered 5 times in his last 12 games. Matt Cook ahead 0-2. He's tried to throw that cutter away to lefties and sneak it through the back door, catch the outer half of the strike zone, but he's missed badly with it so far tonight against some of these left-handers. Went to the changeup. Peterson doesn't chase, and he's back even 2-2. Justin Turner, who flied out to center, on deck. And it's Max Muncy. Here's a look from Mosscam. Changeup missed, and Peterson's worked it full 3-2. Matt so far has walked 1, struck out 1. He's really having trouble. He's trying to pick away at the outer half against these lefties. He just can't land anything out there for a strike. So it's a leadoff walk. Rockies now lead the Phillies 5-1. They're in the bottom of the 4th at Colorado. Cutter just caught the corner, said Marty Foster. 0-1.
I'm sure Dave Roberts has had to answer some questions about Justin Turner's setup in that batter's box. You can see he's all the way on the back line with most of his foot out of the batter's box, but his toe is making contact with that back line, so he's considered to be in the box. I know that because Gonzo used to do that, and I used to have to argue all the time that he is in the box. Any part of his foot in contact with any part of that batter's box, you're considered to be in the box.
There's the skipper, Dave Roberts. His Dodger ball club won 104 games last year. They've got 88 this year. Game and a half ahead of Colorado atop the NL West. That's a base hit into left field. Peterson stops at second. First 2 have reached in the LA third, and here comes Max Muncy.
Well, partner, I mentioned it last night. This Dodgers ball club, I mean, they have a lot of good hitters up and down the lineup on the bench, but almost to a man, they really handle breaking balls in the strike zone very well. They keep their hands back. They let the ball get very deep. They're able to put that ball in play like Justin Turner just did.
And chance for Muncy, who walked his first time up. Matt Cook, 2 best pitches are his cutter and his changeup, so hopefully that will help. Got 3 infielders on the first base side against Muncy. There's the fastball for a strike, 1-1. Muncy has hit safely in 3 straight games. He knocked in 4 runs in their win over the Padres on Sunday. Trying to get that fastball in. A little too much that time. 1-1. Matt so far just 2 walks, 1 strikeout, 40 pitches. This is poked along the line. A long run for David Peralta, and he can't get there. Nice job by Sam Noriega to get out of the way of that one. That's no-neck Noriega down there, and when he has to move, he can really bust it.
Great first step for no neck.
That chair just folds right back up, and he takes off. Sam no-neck Noriega, our Golden Glover down the left field line, and there is big Chris Marino. He's in right field tonight. 1-2 on Muncy. Called strike 3. Good cutter there for Matt Cook. That's what he'd been trying to do earlier in this inning, get that cutter in there away to the lefties, and he landed that one for a strike.
Big at bat in the ball game, starts him off with a fastball for a strike, runs that cutter inside off the plate, a changeup down low and away, and then just dots the bottom of the zone with a 90-mile-an-hour heater. Muncy obviously looking for something else right there. Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game.
Manny Machado. 2 on and 1 out. Dodgers have a 1-0 lead. Cody Bellinger, a solo homer, is 24th of the year. That led off the second inning. Rockies now up on the Phillies 6-1. They're still going bottom 4 at Colorado. This is way up in the air, but foul. And eventually it comes down. Well, Machado homered both Saturday and Sunday for the Dodgers in wins over the Padres. Last night he doubled, he walked, he drove in 2 runs. On the ground, right to Descalso. Marte for 1, and they roll the double play. Well, the first 2 reach. Matt Cook wiggled off the hook. Dodgers lead at 1-0. Season ticket package, guaranteed seats to all the big matchups next year. The Red Sox will be here for the home opener. Yankees will be in next year as well. Give us a call, 602-462-4600, or log on to dbacks.com. Chris Owings leads off the bottom of the 3rd against Walker Buehler. We're joined by Diamondbacks president and CEO Derek Hall. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing okay. Who's doing much better?
Do people ask you that?
Oh yeah, of course. But you know it's baseball, and overall it's been a very exciting season. You know, to have back-to-back years where you know, we have a chance to make it to the postseason. That's all you can ask for. Relevant games, important games in September. We obviously expected to play a lot better because we do have a talented team, and you just have to ask which team is it, that team that we saw in April or the team that we've seen in September and May. But you know, we've had some exciting times here, great crowds.
What do people ask about specifically? I mean, you're out there talking to people all the time, fans, guys on the street. What do they want to know about when they ask about this year?
You know, they keep asking about the guys. You know, how do they feel, and if you talk to them, and you just have to reiterate, because it's so true, and you guys know better than anyone. There's nobody that feels worse than our guys. I mean, that to be so close to it, and you know, to be in first place in April, and on April 1st and May 1st and July 1st and August 1st and September 1st, and not make the postseason, nobody feels worse than these guys. And I get asked a lot, you know, what kind of guys are they? We all know they're great guys. You know, they're good teammates. They get along well. Very talented players, and it's been head scratching because, you know, they seemed to get cold at the same time. They got hot at the same time. They went through so many streaks. But again, they played some great baseball. I mean, they provided some big time excitement here at Chase Field. And again, you know, over 2 million fans. 2-2 we should draw. It just shows that fans have been into this team, and it's a shame that we didn't go further than we are, because I think we deserved it and we have the talent to do so.
Well, there's so many teams that have been in this situation, and I think, Derek, because the Diamondbacks are only 20 years old, 21 now, that this is kind of part of the deal when you're a baseball fan and you live with a team. I mean, you go back to the Red Sox in '78 and the '64 Phillies. There are ups and downs, and you got to ride both.
No, that's exactly right, Steve. And you look at the entire league, it was so competitive, and it's still going, as you know. I mean, you know, kudos to the Rockies. Excited that they're in it as well, and to have 3 teams in the same division back-to-back seasons to have a chance at the postseason, it just shows you how competitive it is. And to have the Phillies go down the stretch as long as they did, and to have Milwaukee and St. Louis and the Dodgers, there have been a lot of teams involved. And you're right, there's going to be ups and downs, but you know, you stick with those teams, and we've been to the postseason 6 times, should be 7, but 6 times in our short career, and that's a pretty darn good track record.
Here's John Ryan Murphy, the catcher, with D-backs president and CEO Derek Hall. That one's foul behind Tony Perez-Chica at third. So, do you get together with the baseball ops guys, the personnel people? I'm sure you will if you haven't already. Go, okay, this didn't work out like we hoped, like we planned. What's next? Yeah, really, it's daily. I mean, you know, you talk every day. There's a lot of lessons to learn, and you guys talk about it on a nightly basis. But what are we going to learn from this, right? I mean, obviously, to have been where we were and to where we are now, there's some questions that need to be answered. Whether it has to do with chemistry or schedule, or why aren't we playing as well at home as we did last year? The year before, we seemed to struggle at home. We figured it out last year, and then we went back. We took a step backwards. You know, we just have so many good guys on this team who have had great years. You know, again, you talk about head scratching, but the season that Marte has had, and that Peralta has had, and Goldie ended up rebounding, and Ahmed has shown that he can do more than just use his glove and his arm. You know, the season he's had at the plate. Our bullpen was fantastic. I mean, the best in baseball for most of the year. So again, you know, what happened? So those are questions that our baseball staff will address, and I have the utmost confidence in them. But again, to have us in a competitive situation and position 2 years in a row, we're on the right track. But there's a lot of questions and a lot of directions you could go too. Yeah, you're at a big fork in the road. There's no doubt about it.
As you know, Derek, I've been around the game for a long time, and I don't believe I've ever seen a team that, as you said, collectively swung the bats extremely well in the month of April, collectively went in the tank in May, and apparently doing the same thing here in September. I've never seen a team play so hot and cold as the Diamondbacks have this year, and when they were hot, they look like the best team in baseball.
They were for a while, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing, BB. I mean, we know that baseball is contagious, but that's just it. I mean, these guys fed off each other, and you know, that energy was something. And you're right. You look at that April. I've never seen a start to a season like that, and it just looked like we were going to be on fire all season long. And that's baseball. You know, it all balances out. You catch up with one another. You play so many games within the division. You know, and we had so many games early on with division foes like this team we're playing today. And, you know, things went our way. But that's baseball. Sometimes you have bad bounces, you have bad breaks, you have injuries. We had all the above. But nonetheless, you know, this team is not making excuses. And again, you know, our players are the most upset.
Matt Cook bunts into a double play for the moment, but now Marty Foster says no.
I think it's a foul ball, yeah. Yasmani Grandal. Remember, it's not where his body is when he touches the baseball. It's where the ball is in relation to the foul line. And Marty Foster said that ball was in foul territory when Grandal grabbed it.
There you can see him. He was right away behind Yasmani Grandal, motioning toward the Dodger dugout to say, nope, that's foul. Watch the plate umpire here.
It was close, but you're right. Marty Foster right on top of the play. He knew right where that ball was when Grandal made contact.
BB sounding and looking like a catcher.
All the shows are about catchers. I don't know if you've noticed.
I think that's been the problem this year. We just haven't had enough catchers on the field at the same time.
So a second chance for Matt Cook down 0-1 as we chat with D-backs president and CEO Derek Hall.
You know, we had a lot of things go right. You look at some of the moves that our baseball staff had to make, and you know, bringing in Escobar I think was the right move, and unfortunately the injury to Jake Lamb, but Escobar brought a sense of energy and good defense, and you know, multi hits during games, and he's exactly what we needed. You look at bringing in Clay Buchholz, the job that he did.
Oh my goodness, was he good?
When we needed him to step up, in the rotation. I mean, that bullpen and addressing the needs for the bullpen, bringing in a lot of great arms, and collectively it just didn't happen. But I'm very proud of the job that our baseball staff did, and they're going to get right back to work in the offseason as they are right now. They never stop, as you know, but they'll have a game plan. They'll address all of this season and the shortcomings, and they'll make recommendations to us, and I look forward to that.
That seems to be, Derek, the foundation from which we go forward, and it seems to be with this group more solid than it's ever been.
Yeah, it's a great group, Bert, and there's such a good balance. I mean, you hear about so many teams now going heavily with analytics or looking at the numbers. They don't do just that. I mean, we've got that. We've got an analytics department, some really bright people in baseball operations, yet they also understand the importance of talking to the scouts, balancing it with the coaching staff and their thoughts, chemistry, talking to other teams the players were with. It's a very impressive group. They never stop. They're working 24 hours around the clock, and I'm thrilled that we have them, and our fans should be too, because I've got a ton of confidence in these guys, and they've already shown the last couple of years they know how to build a roster. You know, they inherited what they did. They're now rebuilding the farm system at the same time. Very aggressive on the international market, and I'm excited to see what we do here in the future.
Well, Matt Cook showing bunt with 2 strikes pulled back, says Joe West, and he's even 2-2. I got to talk to Orlando Hudson. He's here today. The O-Dog roams around to all the minor league affiliates
Very
over
mellow,
the course of the year.
Quiet, didn't
I
talk
couldn't
much.
get a word out of him. It was really hard. It was like pulling teeth. But you mentioned the minor leaguers. He is really excited about some of these guys at the lower levels. I mean, he is talking up Jazz Chisholm and a whole bunch of other guys, and we'll talk to Jazz coming up. Cook gets the bunt down. Grandal only has 1 play. They move Owings along.
Yeah, I'm really excited too, and you're right. So you've got our player of the year, minor league player of the year, minor league pitcher of the year you're going to be talking to. Seeing those guys this morning, I went over to Salt River Fields. I was fortunate enough to be able to address the entire group that's there for instruction.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, so here's our group of 40, 50 guys who are our top prospects. It's been fun to watch them rebuild this and bring in some really talented players, both internationally and domestically. And it's a young group. It's a good core group. That's who we are. And there's going to be times where we're going to go out and we're going to make a free agent splash or make a nice trade. We have to do that. Yet with a team of our size, a market our size, we know the commitment really has to be to scouting and player development. And we've got all the talent when it comes to staff, as far as our scouts and our player development personnel that were there and that are so committed to these young players.
I saw Jazz Chisholm and Taylor Widener. We're going to talk to those guys coming up the next half inning. Boy, Taylor was just named Baseball America's AA pitcher of the year. That is not a small deal.
No, amazing. And especially today when you see so many of the real true good arms or the prospect pitchers, they're in AA for the most part. And for him to dominate the way he did, and then when you look at Jazz, and this is a guy you're going to love the personality. He's unbelievable and only 20 years of age, so talented. That's what we're excited about, is that future and blending it in with a nice roster fill and balancing it out.
Well, we're through 3. We'll talk to those guys coming up. In the meantime, D-backs president and CEO Derek Hall. Derek, thanks so much.
Guys.
Beat LA. That's the theme here tonight. D-backs trail the Dodgers 1-0 as Matt Cook is out there to start the top of the 4th inning. Diamondbacks minor leaguers of the year named today. Jazz Chisholm, the player of the year, and Taylor Widener, the pitcher of the year, who was an outstanding member of the Jackson Generals starting rotation as they won the Southern League championship. Cody Bellinger leads it off. He homered his last time up, and Taylor Widener is here with us in the booth. You had a heck of a season.
Thank you.
You really did. The numbers are unbelievable. And to be named by Baseball America, which is an unbelievable publication, as the AA pitcher of the year, what does that mean to you?
Well, it means a lot to me. It's really good to see that I'm finally having some hard work that's paying off for me, and just got to keep getting after it this offseason.
I mean, the numbers, Taylor, I'm looking at this. You're going to be 24 next year, had a big year in AA, so you're right on the cusp, I would assume, of being major league ready. Tell us about your stuff and what you're like as a pitcher. We're getting a look right here.
I mean, I'm mainly just a fastball pitcher that throws a slider and a changeup, and I've just really gotten some confidence in that changeup recently. And it's showing a lot of sliders here, which, if you look at my last few starts, I definitely didn't have that working for me.
Well, you get tired at the end.
I struggled a little bit.
176 strikeouts in 137 innings, a 2.75 ERA for Jackson, which won the Southern League. What was that like?
It was awesome. Last year in Trenton with the Yankees, we made it to the championship, and we went 3 and out, so that was disappointing. And getting back there this year and winning it was awesome.
Now, you mentioned Trenton and the Yankees. You came to the Diamondbacks organization as part of the 3-team trade that brought Steven Souza here. Yes. What was it like to be told, young man, you've been traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks?
I was really excited. Just start my future somewhere else, and I knew it was going to give me a good chance because I got traded for a reason. So it was awesome being with the Yankees, but I'm really excited being with the Diamondbacks now.
It was your first year at the AA level, and they always hear when you get to AA, that's when it really gets serious. Did you find that to be the case, the level of competition at AA?
Yeah, there's definitely, like, going in, you can tell a difference between some of the guys that I've faced in short season and low A and high A, and just they put so much more quality of bats together against you. And like, there were some teams that I struggled against this year that would run my pitch count up, and it was definitely a lot of good competition this year.
You played for Shelley Duncan down there in Jackson, and also had Doug Drabeck as your pitching coach. What was that like, having a veteran major league guy to work with?
It was awesome. It was like getting to talk to Doug every day. He kept it so simple for you. He would keep you nice and calm. He would help you not to overthink everything, and it was awesome having him there.
And you can hit a little bit, I hear. I got your offensive numbers here. 5 for 18. Walked 3 times. That's something I always look at. If a pitcher draws a walk, he's got an idea what he's doing up there.
I used to be able to swing in a little bit, and it was a little bit harder than I remember this year, but it was a lot of fun to get back in there.
Oh, we had to get you into the National League then.
That's, yeah, absolutely. That's when I got traded and they handed me a helmet and a bat, I was like, oh wow, I forgot about this one.
Yeah, you're from Aiken, South Carolina, played at USC. Did you play for the Gamecocks? How long?
I was there from 14 to 16.
Okay, so you're there for a while. That's a great program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a chance to catch up with Chris Owens. He's a USC
I talked to
guy.
Chris Owens and Christian Walker the day before the game.
Oh yeah, Christian played at South Carolina.
Right.
Yeah. 3-1 on Puig. Double play ball behind Matt Cook. Marte, Descalso, and they roll it. Second double play ball for Matt Cook in the last 2 innings. That'll sure help. What do you watch? I know you've got your own stuff to deal with when you're on the minor league road, which I'm sure can't be easy, but do you watch D-back games? Have you seen this ballpark? Is this your first time in this ballpark?
This is my first time ever coming here.
So you're going to be down there one day, maybe next year. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, it seems awesome to me. It's a great crowd tonight, too.
Did you bring your cleats? We might suit you up tonight.
Yeah, these boots aren't going on the mound tonight.
Well, we got some guys that like the cowboy boots too. Andrew Chafin and Zach Godley and some of the boys. Yeah, they like to put their boots on.
Road trips are like a hee-haw episode. Grandal singled his first time up. That's by a diving Goldie and into right. Jay over to cut it off. A 2-out single for Grandal brings up Kike Hernandez. So Grandal 2 for 2. We talked with Taylor Widener, who was the Diamondbacks minor league pitcher of the year for AA Jackson. Now I've heard, and we were talking about this a bit earlier, that Jackson, because the Diamondbacks AA team used to be in Mobile, yes. Now they're in Jackson, Tennessee. The facilities are pretty good, but the crowds are a little thin, huh?
Yeah, it's the field. I mean, the field we played on this year was outstanding. It was a great surface, but like you said, the crowds were a little small, but it's always fun to get out there.
Really? We're talking like 20 fans a game.
That's about right. We had,
wow.
I think we had a few special events nights where we drew like pretty good crowds, like a few thousand, like Star Wars night. And I think there was one other night that we had 2 really good crowds, but that was about it.
Does that make it hard? I mean, you can't be used to that. I guess you get used to it after a while, but the first few times must have been.
Yeah, it's.
Did they not tell anybody there's a game tonight?
I guess not. There's not very much advertising. It's a really small town, but it's definitely still a lot of fun there.
Here's Kike Hernandez, 1-1.
I know coming up through the Yankee system, you played for a guy that played for me, Jay Bell. How was that playing for Jay Bird?
It was awesome. I loved playing for him. That was, as soon as I got traded, he called me and was like, listen, like, if you ever need anything, my wife lives not too far from there. He's like, just give me a call. And he's like, I'll always be here for you if you ever need to call me. And he's about as good as a dude as they come.
Not surprising. Yep.
This is popped straight up. John Ryan near the screen, but it's out of play. Yeah, Jay Bell, a member of the Diamondbacks all-time 20th anniversary team this year. So what's next? Now you get some downtime. What are you doing in the off season?
I'm actually getting married on November 9th.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Thank you. So I got the wedding coming up soon.
How did you pop the question?
It's a few years ago. We were in. Went to a wine festival. And we were at this place, and it's kind of creepy looking back now how she was like, this picture would look a lot better if I had a ring on, because we've been dating for like a year. And then I ended up a few years later, I went back and proposed to her on that same spot.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Yeah. So I've been engaged for like 2 years now.
Is that hard? Do you guys get to see each other because you're on the road, on the buses, everything?
She was in England 2 years ago, so that's the reason we're still engaged, not married yet. But she got to come a good amount this year.
Good, good. 2-2 on Hernandez. This is a deep drive to right field. Jay's at the wall. He's done it. Diamondbacks minor league pitcher of the year, Taylor Widener. A terrific year. You're going to see him soon. Thanks so much. Trailing the Dodgers 1-0. Jazz Chisholm, a tremendous young infielder, was just named D-backs minor league player of the year finished up at Visalia, which had a terrific team this year in the Cal League. That's a high A ball. He joins us right now. How are you?
I'm good, man.
Thanks for stopping by.
Glad to be here.
You had a heck of a season this year, and you finished up in the postseason, right? Playoffs?
Yeah. Championship.
How about that? So Jackson won the Southern League. Visalia, you guys lost in the final?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tremendous season. What was that like?
I mean, it was great to be out there with the guys, you know, a couple guys that I met the year before and played with a little bit. So it was like playing with the family.
You know, you looked at the names, Bob, of the guys who finished the season at Visalia and thought, wow, this is a top prospect. This is a top prospect. This guy. It was a pretty impressive roster at the end of the year.
It was a great team. I mean, couldn't put together a better set of guys, you know.
Yeah, and you guys,
on and off.
Excuse me, you finished up not too long ago and a little break here, and then you go right to the Fall League.
Yeah.
There's a one hopper right to Kike Hernandez. They retire Marte. We talked to Jazz Chisholm, who was the Diamondback Minor League Player of the Year. Tell folks a little bit about your game. What's the best part of your game, in your opinion?
I would say my hitting, you know, and the power.
Now we're going to get a look at it right here. This is Jazz Chisholm, who 272, 25 homers, 70 RBIs. You stole 17 bases. Only 36 games at Visalia because you were at Kane County for most of the year. But when you went to Visalia, you hit almost 330. I mean, that's a big jump up from low A to high A, and the batting average went up with you.
Yeah, I think I played 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Sounds about right, yeah. From Kane, what was Kane County like?
I mean, not the best place to go hit if you want to be a hitter. The wind's blowing in every game.
There's David Peralta. Now, where were you playing Jazz defensively? Did you have one spot more than others? Did they try you different spots?
Every single inning at shortstop.
That's it. So you are strictly a shortstop?
Yes.
Is that the plan?
That's the plan.
What do you think of this ballpark? I think you look pretty good down there, don't you think?
Hopefully.
Yeah, we saw some video of you swinging the bat this summer, and I'm told that some of your teammates call you Cargo because you've got that big uppercut swing from the left side. You look a little bit like Carlos Gonzalez.
They call me a few names, you know.
Well, I had to write this down. I apologize. Now, tell me if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly. Jazzrado, Hermes, Arrington Chisholm?
Yes. Junior.
Wow. Well, sure. Don't forget the junior. That's unbelievable. So your dad had the exact same name.
Yes.
Wow. And you are you're from the Bahamas.
Yes.
What is there a history behind the name? Is there a particular story? I mean, that's quite a moniker to carry around.
My middle name, all the way to the end, is my granddad's name.
Oh, that's cool.
And then my dad just got the first name and just added the rest.
I can see why they just call you Jazz. It just makes things easier, doesn't it?
I love it. I love my name.
Yeah, that's a great name for a slick fielding, good hitting shortstop. Jazz. That works.
It works.
3-2 on the freight train. Goldie on deck. We talked to Jazz Chisholm, D-backs minor league player of the year.
Yeah, we talked earlier about Orlando Hudson. Did you get a chance to work with the O-Dog this summer?
Every year. I mean, I had him for the last 2 years, and he's a great guy.
Did you get a word in?
No. I did not get a word in.
Nobody ever does. Well, I was chatting with O-Dog before the game today. He had a lot of great things to say about you. He is on the Jazz Chisholm train.
Yeah, man, that's my guy.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
He's tremendous. Peralta fouls off another one against Buehler. D-back still with only one hit. That was Ketel Marte back in the first.
Bert, you want to feel old?
Too late for that.
Jazz was born in 1998.
I'm gonna have to throw you out of the booth. I'm sorry. Oh man. Wait till they start being born in the 2000s. Then that'll be it.
Then I'll feel old.
Father Time is still undefeated, Jazz.
I got to tell you, Jazz, I had a sports coat very similar to that back in my playing days. The lady that sold it to me said you have to be very secure in your masculinity to wear pink.
Hey, I love
or salmon, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
call it whatever.
If you're going to be Jazz, you got to dress the part, don't you? That's a good look. You got a whole thing going there.
Yeah, just a little thing going. You know, the salmon coat is my specialty right here.
Oh, we got to keep you away from Ketel Marte.
Hey,
because he's out of control.
Yeah, he can take the title. He has it.
Yeah, he'd have sneakers to match that jacket.
Yeah,
several pairs. So here's Goldie now. Base is empty, 2 down. Talk to Jazz Chisholm, D-backs minor league player of the year. it's amazing that you had a long year at Kane County. You did very well there, but as soon as you go up to high A at Visalia, I can't get over that. Suddenly you're hitting 330. I mean, the Cal League is a good hitters league anyway, right? Did you find that to be the case?
I wouldn't say that was the case. I just calm down. Like balls in the Cal League, it has more true flight,
right,
than in Kane County where the wind's blowing in every game at probably 20 miles per hour.
Oh, you get that Midwest wind, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. You say just calm down. What does that mean?
I got more under control in my swing.
Okay.
So, like, more times in Kane County, I would be swinging out of my shoes.
Gotcha.
And trying to hit home runs. When I got to Visalia, I didn't have to do that, you know. In Visalia, I could flick it out.
Well, it was a tremendous year. Congratulations, Jazz Chisholm, D-backs Minor League Player of the Year. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you. For baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. David Dahl, the Rockies trailing the Phillies 1-0 in the third, but suddenly they're up 8-1. Colorado opening up the offense. Bottom five, they lead the Phillies. Rockies only a game and a half behind the Dodgers for the NL West lead. Colorado also a game and a half behind the Cardinals for that second wild card. Or pardon me, a half game behind the Cardinals. And St. Louis is trailing right now 7-4 to the Brewers. They're in the seventh at Busch Stadium. So a Cardinal loss and a Rocky win puts Colorado into the playoffs if the season were to end today, which of course it does not. Walker Buehler, or Dodgers pitcher, leads off the fifth against Matt Cook, who has got a couple of ground ball double plays behind him that have really helped, but so far so good for Matt. He's held the Dodgers to only 1 run on 5 hits. He has walked 2, struck out 2. It's always nice to meet those guys. I mean, those two guys, Taylor and Jazz, they're going to be big parts of the future here. And it's always nice to get a chance to get to know them a little bit before they get here. Two very engaging, just solid young guys, very good players. And more on the way.
Of course, other than the little bit of video that we got to see for both of those players, Jazz, it kind of physically reminds you a little bit of Ketel Marte, you know, a guy that's not really a big strapping home run hitter, but apparently has tremendous bat speed and can generate some loft in that swing.
He's right about Kane County and that wind out there in that Midwest League. You hit some offensive numbers there, you're doing something. And he's only 20 years old. He's just a baby. And Taylor's only 23. He'll be 24 when we show up at Salt River Fields next spring, so he's just about there. Jazz has probably got a little bit longer to go. But those are two names you want to keep in mind: Taylor Widener and Jazz Chisholm. Full count on the pitcher. Buehler 3-2. Yeah, this is going to be a great Arizona Fall League season for Diamondback fans. You can go see Jazz Chisholm play in the Fall League, which starts soon for the Salt River Rafters. Some of the Diamondbacks' top draft picks the last couple of years will be playing on the team this year. Well, Matt Cook walks the pitcher to lead off the inning. That's never great. Third walk issued by Cook brings up Jock Peterson. There is some action in the Diamondback bullpen. And remember, Matt, although he's been stretched out for most of the year, has been working primarily in relief as of late. That's Jimmy Sherfield. Matt Cook threw 51 pitches in his 4 innings of work a week ago against the Cubs in relief. He had a career-high 7 strikeouts. Cook's high pitch count for the year is 102. So that was way back in the last week of April at Philadelphia. His spot would be up 5th in the bottom half of this inning. So he's coming up on 70 pitches, probably near the end. But still a chance to get through this inning. Goldie's got it. They go to second for 1. And it can turn 2. A nice diving stab by Paul Goldschmidt at first.
Nice play by Goldie that time, diving to his right to knock that one down. Throws from his knees onto Ketel Marte. Just too much time had elapsed. Jock Peterson gets down that line and beats the relay.
And that is going to be it for Matt Cook, it appears. Here comes Torey Lovello out to the mound. Well, Matt Cook, 4+ keeps the Dodgers to 1 run. Jimmy Sherfree on his way in. Back after this.
One nothing Dodgers with 1 out here in the top half of the 5th inning. Jimmy Sherfree on for the Diamondbacks. The day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Oh, Matt Cook certainly limited the damage. Only 1 run. And with 1 out in the 5th inning, there's Jimmy Sherfree on to face Justin Turner. Jimmy's 13th appearance of the year, 2.13 ERA. Pretty good job by Matt Cook. Those double play balls behind him certainly helped to One to end the third and one in the fourth.
That didn't hurt a thing. He did walk 3 batters in the game. Technically, he's still responsible for Jock Peterson down there at first base after the leadoff walk to the pitcher, Walker Buehler. But yeah, an outstanding job by Matt Cook once again, plugging a hole in the rotation and giving the Diamondbacks into the 5th inning with his effort.
Taking a rotation spot left by the injury to Clay Buchholz. And so here's Turner, who singled his last time up, 1 for 2. Peterson at first, 1 out. Turner's now hit safely in 5 straight games, 12 of his last 13. And over that stretch is hitting about 380. He has been red hot since the All-Star break. Peterson might run but should not. He is 1 for 6 in his stolen base attempts this year. Fastball misses down and away, 1-1. Jimmy Sherfy, 23 career big league games. He's held the opposition scoreless in 21 of those games. Brought up from AAA Reno with expanded rosters this month. Jimmy pitched 38 games with the Aces. 5-1, 15 saves, and a 1.60 ERA. Slow roller to short. Marte cleans it up. Peterson moves up, and there are 2 outs.
You mentioned Peterson does not run or should not run. That's one of the great mysteries for me in the game. This is a guy that had a couple of 30 stolen base seasons in the minor leagues, another of 24, 26. I mean, when he got to the major leagues, because of his big uppercut swing and the fact that he hit a lot of home runs, people were saying this is a potential 30-30 guy. But he has just stopped running completely.
And at times stopped hitting. He's been prone to long slumps, but he's had a pretty good year this year. Max Muncy has walked and struck out. D-backs put 3 infielders on the right hand side. Sliders in there for a strike. See Descalso, the second baseman, well back of the outfield grass. Owings all by himself near the third base bag in case Peterson decides to take off. Fastball misses away, 1-1. Boy, this guy out of nowhere, suddenly you look up, he's got 33 home runs. Did not even play in the majors last year, Max Muncy. Good crowd here tonight. D-backs Dodgers, the second of a 3-game series, our penultimate home game this year.
Good word.
Every once in a while. Final one of the year tomorrow night. Zach Greinke will be on the mound. dbacks.com/tickets. Ross Stripling will pitch for LA as Greinke looks for his 15th win in what will be his final start of the year. Did you see Greinke with Blippi today?
Yeah, I did.
Now, did you even know there was a Blippi?
No.
Blippi's a huge deal on the YouTube, I guess, with the kids. He's got his own children's series of videos, I guess. The kids love him. And Zach Greinke's kids love Blippi. Just drops that breaking ball in there for a strike. It's 2-2. So look at Zach Greinke, the Greinke family with Blippi. That's a big deal for Zach to get his picture taken with Blippi. Write the caption. And you can see it meant a lot to Blippi as well. He was all fired up. I love his submarine sandwiches. Jimmy Sherfy gets us to the bottom of the 5th. D-backs trail at 1-0. Daniel Descalso starts us off in the bottom of the fifth. D-backs trail the Dodgers 1-0. Good ball game going here tonight. And you can follow the race to the postseason on MLB.tv. $25.99. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game, and you'll get a free subscription to MLB at Bat Premium. Visit MLB.tv and take advantage of this limited time offer. The final week of the regular season. D-backs trailing 1-0. Diamondbacks with only one base hit so far against Walker Buehler. That was a Ketel Marte single in the first inning. Buehler has walked one. He struck out 4. There's the Dodger defensive alignment against Descalso, who flied out his first time up. Lifted high to left for Jock Peterson.
You know, partners, we get down to the end of the regular season. A lot of discussion about the individual awards. Who's going to win the Cy Young? Who's going to win the batting title?
Yeah, we were talking about Christian Yelich maybe as the NL MVP. Yeah.
Well, Jacob deGrom is a very interesting case this year. The guy has a 9-9 record, not usually Cy Young worthy, but in this day and age of the new analytics, the 1.77 ERA certainly plays for a Cy Young candidate. Here's the interesting thing. My staff has been busy.
Well, for once. If
the Mets had scored 4 runs in each of Jacob deGrom's starts this year, 4 runs, he would be 30-0. If they'd scored 3 runs in each of his starts, he'd be 25-1. And even if they scored just 2 runs in each of his starts, he'd be 20-6.
This one is trying to get down, and it does. AJ drops it into left. A 1-out single, just the second hit for the Diamondbacks. Well, you know, the voters for these awards are much more analytically inclined these days, and so Jacob deGrom might, in a sense, become a dark horse favorite for that award, if there is such a thing, because people want to go against the traditional guys have to have wins and strikeouts and a high ERA.
Well, if you like the strikeouts,
he's got those.
Max Scherzer might be your guy. He finished tonight with exactly 300 strikeouts on the season and has only allowed 150 hits. That hasn't happened a whole lot in the game of baseball. Only 16 players since 1900 can boast that they struck out 300 or more and gave up 150 hits or fewer. And as you might imagine, Randy and Kurt and Pedro Martinez all over the top of that list.
Washington beat the Miami Marlins tonight at Nats Park.
So I'm sure Max Scherzer will get his share of votes for the National League Cy Young as well. That'll be interesting.
I think it's become so trendy to go against the grain that deGrom might have a pretty good case. Buehler rolls a double play ball, and he is through 5 with a 1-0 lead. Good ball game going here. D-backs and Dodgers. It's 1-0 in the 6th inning. And our second to last home game of 2018. The finale is tomorrow night for the season here at Chase Field, and this series against the Dodgers. Zach Greinke in his final start this year goes for win number 15 against Ross Stripling. D-backs live pregame show and straight up at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Arizona. Manny Machado leads it off for the Dodgers.
Zach Greinke 7 strikeouts short of 200 for the season. You know he'd like to reach that nice round number tomorrow.
Jimmy Sherfy gets Machado out on 1 pitch to start the 6th. Jimmy has retired all 3 he's faced so far. Here's Cody Bellinger, who has knocked in the game's only run. Bellinger led off the 2nd with a long home run against Matt Cook, his 24th of the year, and that has been all the scoring so far tonight. Funny, Bellinger's been better this year away from Dodger Stadium. He's .220 at home, .294 on the road, and he's hit more home runs away from LA than he has in his home park. This one was a no-doubter. And led off the 2nd, and that has been all the offense.
Yeah, he can shorten up his swing if he chooses to. He tends to take that big long uppercut swing. But Matt Cook tried to come inside with a cut fastball. He pulled his hands in close to his body. A little shorter, more abbreviated swing. Got it up in the air to right field, and it was a no-doubter.
There they are. Boy, Jimmy Sherfy so far has done a tremendous job tonight landing that breaking ball for strikes. I think he's caught a few of these guys by surprise. He stole strike 2 from Bellinger right there. Bellinger has homered and singled. He's 2 for 2. Rockies leading the Phillies 8-3. They're in the 7th inning in Denver. Colorado a game and a half behind these Dodgers for the NL West lead. Rockies only a half game behind the Cardinals for the 2nd NL wild card. Couldn't get him to bite on that slider, and it's full 3-2. Puig on deck. Lifts it out to left for Peralta.
Congratulations in order for Valley native Chris Davis of the Oakland A's. Did something that only one other A's player in the franchise history has ever done before. That's hit 45 or more home runs or 120 or more RBIs.
Well, he has very quietly been one of the best power hitters in the game the last few years.
Sure has. Only Jimmy Fox was able to do the same thing that Chris Davis did this year. 45 or more homers, 120 or more RBIs. Not Reggie Jackson, not Mark McGwire, not Canseco, not Giambi.
It would be nice to see Oakland knock off the Yankees in that wild card game. The A's are a fun team to watch. They're leading at Seattle tonight 6-4. And he got another breaking ball for a strike. That's been a great pitch for him tonight. 0-1 on Puig. Puig is lined out and hit into a double play. He's 0 for 2. Took a little bit more off at that time. His breaking ball is a curveball slider hybrid. Sometimes it kind of breaks sharply like a slider. Other times, like you just saw, it's a little more loopy like a slow curve. But he's got that good hard mid-90s fastball to go with it. Another breaking ball. Marte charges. Jimmy Sherfy 5 up 5 down. D-backs down 1.
5 of the 6 here at Chase Field. Dodgers lead the D-backs 1-0. Time to take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. A game-changing moment. Back in 1974, Dr. Frank Jobe performs the first UCL surgery on Tommy John. Took a tendon from his right wrist, implanted it into his left elbow, and just about everybody you see on the mound in major leagues has either had it or will have it. Changed the game.
Well, as Tommy always said, he was just glad that he wasn't a proctologist. And the guy that had the second Tommy John surgery that worked was Tom Candiotti. John Ryan Murphy down the line. Foul.
I mean, that used to be a death sentence. You know, you pitched as long as you could tolerate the pain, and then your forearm flew off and you were done. That was it. There was no coming back from that injury.
And it was funny because in talking to Candy about that, Tommy John had it. And then there were, I don't know, somewhere between 6 or 8 guys after that it didn't work. And then Candy came along and he had the procedure, and it worked really well for Tom, and he became a knuckleball pitcher, and off you go. But he had it when he was very young, and he still has in his garage the original exercise rehab equipment that Dr. Jobe designed to work the elbow out and get that whole ligament back going. He still has the original stuff.
Boy, and the surgery itself has come a long way since 1974. I mean, it used to be at least 18 months before you could see a pitcher throwing a baseball again. And now we're seeing guys come back in less than a year sometimes from Tommy John surgery and pitch effectively.
1-2 on John Ryan Murphy. Socrates Brito is in the on-deck circle. He will hit for Jimmy Sherfy. John Ryan, short left. Here comes Peterson. And now Brito is announced. Silvino Bracho warms up at the Diamondback bullpen. Well, it's been a tough recovery for Shelby Miller in his return from Tommy John surgery. We anticipated getting Shelby back for the whole second half of this season, but there were some complications that didn't work out. Shelby threw off the mound today. Torrey was telling us before the game today, about 20 pitches or so. He threw everything he had, felt great. And there's a really good chance we're going to see Shelby Miller pitch in one of those games at San Diego this weekend, which would be a nice way to finish the season for him, just to get back out there.
Yeah, nice reward for all the hard work he's put in trying to rehab that arm. I think the Angels just announced today that Ohtani is going to go ahead and have the Tommy John surgery.
A couple of days, I believe. Brito hitting for Sherfy. Socrates 0 for 3, started in left field last night. There's a fastball for a strike. Brito batting 172. He's played parts of 19 games with the Diamondbacks this year. He's had only 30 plate appearances. That fastball a little low for Marty Foster. It's 1-1. A little late on the fastball away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Walker Buehler so far has given up only 2 hits. He's walked 1. He struck out 4. He struck out a dozen Rockies in 6 innings in his previous start last week. Buehler faced the D-backs for the first time ever earlier this month. It was September 2nd in LA, and he was very impressive then as well. 1 run, 2 hits. He went 6 1/3 and had 9 strikeouts. One more time for Peterson. Buehler 2 starts ago beat the Cardinals. That was on the road in St. Louis. 8 scoreless innings, 2 hits, 9 strikeouts. So he has had a tremendous rookie season. John Jay, the leadoff man tonight, 0 for 2. In fact, the Dodgers, they've been winning over the second half of the year, led mostly by their rotation. Their starting pitching since the All-Star break has a 3.02 ERA. That is the best mark in the majors in the second half of the year. Hyunjin Ryu has done very well for them down the stretch. Alex Wood has struggled. He's in the bullpen now. But Kershaw is healthy. Buehler's been an outstanding starter this year. Ross Stripling has won 8 games and pitched to a 2.84 ERA. He goes here tomorrow night.
Now, Stripling and Buehler have done so well, they've chased Kenta Maeda down to the bullpen.
Where, as we talked about last night, he's been more effective than was last year for LA. They just got Arias back too from injury. It's funny, all the big acquisitions that LA has made have been primarily offensive players. They got Machado and they got Dozier and they got Freese. They've left the pitching staff for the most part intact. It's been a while since John Jay was hit by a pitch. I'm starting to think something's wrong.
Yeah, there was a breaking ball earlier in the game. I think it was his first at bat of the game. He was standing right there, and I think he was hoping it would hit him in that front leg, but it just missed him.
This is his 80th game as a Diamondback. He's been hit 15 times, but it hasn't happened in a while. I think the 15 hit by pitches happened in the first 15 games. It seems like it. John, as a Diamondback, has hit about 240. He's homered twice. And there's a 2-out single. Well, this is hey guys, Toby, focus. There you go. Well, we've got Fox Sports Arizona, of course, doing the game. We're on the air right now, and you've got Spanish television. You've got Dodger TV. The boys from Bristol are televising this game tonight and tomorrow. So as you can see, it's a good thing Joe West isn't out there in center field. Got about 9 cameras out there. There's Holly. By the way, I don't know if you saw your jibe at Cowboy Joe down there. He's blowing up on the interweb after he forced everybody to move their cameras near the D-back dugout before we could start the ball game while they were on the air. And you had a comment. I'll paraphrase. It's amazing how he noticed that and maybe has occasionally missed a close strike call. I'm just paraphrasing.
Something like that.
But it's on the Fox Sports Arizona Twitter feed. If you follow Fox Sports Arizona, the video of Joe messing with the cameras just simply because he can has now had over 65,000 views. With your comment that it's amazing how he can miss a pitch by 6 feet yet see all those cameras with the lenses over the front of the fence, which is a big thing with him. So that's out there.
You know, priorities. I guess it's just all about priorities. What's the most important thing you can do as an umpire is to make sure the cameras are where they're supposed to be. Wait.
Joe does not like the camera lens to protrude, if that's a word, over the edge of the railing. And there is Joe, the third base umpire tonight. So he's right near the camera so he can keep an eye on them. So he went over there while they were in the middle of the show. We were on the air and he made Mickey back up, and frankly it jammed up our whole top of the first inning.
Well, I think that shows the respect he has for Mickey. I mean, normally he just throws people out of the game.
There's Mick. Mick, hang in there.
It didn't bother nobody.
Yeah, Joe's at third base. You might have to zoom out a little bit. And how about this? 2-out single and a walk, and here comes David Peralta. First real threat the D-backs have had all night against Walker Buehler. And this was right at the start of the ball game as we were about to start the game. This is in the top of the first inning, and everybody who is manning a camera down there has to back up because Joe says so. See the red light is on. They're on the air right there, and the guy's telling them, look, Mickey is cooperating as always. Well, that's what we went through before we could get started tonight. Now Rick Honeycutt is out there to talk to his rookie right-handers.
And I'm pretty sure the cameras are exactly where they were in the ball game last night.
Yeah. So everybody's all right, at least for the moment. And Joe will go back to third base. 2 on and 2 out for Peralta, who has hit into a double play and struck out. I believe they were in that exact same spot for Game 7 of the World Series.
Yeah, I think pretty much for every game that's ever been played in this ballpark, those cameras have been right where they were tonight.
Well, tonight's special because Joe is here. That is foul at third. David chased a first pitch fastball that time. Torey Lovullo was speaking to the media before the game today, talking about now that the D-backs have been eliminated, certain players looking for signposts, statistical landmarks, and Peralta right now 1 shy of 30 homers. This would be a great time for it. Right now hitting .295 with those 29 home runs. Jay's at second, Marte's at first, 2 outs. That's going to get down into center. And here we go. Jay is home. Here comes Marte. And the D-backs grab the lead. Oh, those timely 2-out RBI hits.
Yeah, kind of a half-hearted swing at the first delivery, but nothing half-hearted about that line drive into the gap in right center. That ball was smoked. Bellinger shading over a few steps into the gap in left center. Had a long way to go to get to that ball. By the time he gets it back in, the D-backs have taken the lead.
And a chance to tack on a run. Goldie so far against Buehler has struck out twice. Let's get that Beat LA chant going. All of this with 2 outs. Jay singled, Marte walked, Peralta doubled them both home. Goldie in a 1 for 16 at the plate right now. Drop that slow curveball in for a strike. Rockies have a 9-3 lead over the Phillies. They're in the 7th. That one rolls away from Grandal. Peralta is in there at third.
That almost looked like a cross-up that time. Yasmani Grandal kind of got caught in between whether to try to block it or catch it in the air. David Peralta saw that happening at home plate, got a great jump and advances on to third.
Buehler's spot in the order is due up third in the top of the 7th inning. There is no one warming up for the moment in the Dodger bullpen, but there is some activity down there. Goldie ahead, 2 balls and 1 strike. Peralta's at third, 2 outs. Here it is. Foul back, a fastball. Dylan Floro, a guy who's gotten some big outs down the stretch here, will start to get it cranked up, the right-hander. But he has yet to begin throwing down there. Buehler trying to get out of the 6th. Big series for Ketel Marte. .98 in there like that.
You mentioned Buehler up third next inning for the Dodgers, and he's well aware of that. It looks like he's emptying the tank out there, just rearing back and putting everything he can behind each one of these fastballs.
Descalso would be next. He's 0 for 2. Got him. Third time tonight he has struck Goldie out. But Peralta's 2-out, 2-run double gives the D-backs the lead. D-backs elite. Did you know you can take home a piece of D-backs history? Yes, D-backs Authentics offers a wide array of game-used items directly from the clubhouse. For more information and to place a bid, check out dbacks.com/auction. All kinds of bats, balls, bases, caps, helmets, jerseys that you can purchase online, all authenticated by Major League Baseball, all worn and used in Diamondback games. Silvino Bracho, the right-hander, on to start the top of the 7th inning. Yasmani Grandal, who has singled twice, will lead it off for the Dodgers. After that, Kike Hernandez, then the pitcher spot. But keep in mind, Dave Roberts has his entire 40-man roster in uniform here tonight. So you never know who's going to come out of there. There's plenty of choices. Grandal came in 3 for 24. He'd been scuffling, but so far tonight 2 for 2. Left-hand side is his power side. Switch hitting catcher. And he drives this deep to center. It backs up AJ, who will play it off the wall. It takes a funny carom and rolls back to left center. Grandal will head for third, and he'll make it. Peralta was there backing up, but it hit the side of the pad out there, and no one was able to catch up with that. Just a cue shot off that wall.
Boy, that's just an unfortunate bounce for the Diamondbacks. AJ got back to the wall, realized he couldn't make the play. He's in perfect position to play the carom. David Peralta was streaking over from left field, and the ball rolls back toward the gap in left center. Grandal does not run well, but even he ends up with a triple on this crazy bounce off the wall.
So right away, Dodgers have the tying run at third. LeCastro, who's been their designated runner, will run for Grandal. Tim LeCastro at third. Chris Woodward coaching down there. LeCastro's been in just about every game this month, but he hasn't had an at-bat. All he does is run.
The Herb Washington of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Here's Hernandez. Pitcher spot up next. Chris Taylor in the on-deck circle. Change-up's a strike 0-1. Brad Ziegler starts to get loose in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Base hit to center, and we are tied at 2.
Kike Hernandez has always been a good high fastball hitter, and that's exactly what he got that time from Silvino. Bracho just tomahawks it into center field to tie this one up.
Well, Taylor is going to go back into the dugout, and they'll get the left-hand batting Chase Utley up to bat for the pitcher Buehler. Utley walked and scored in the ball game last night. Utley retiring as an active player at the end of the year. Here comes Mike Butcher, the pitching coach. So Bracho comes in, handed a 2-1 lead, gives up a triple and a single, and we're tied at 2. Still nobody out. And Hernandez at first.
Chase Utley does not have a sacrifice bunt this season. He rarely has been asked to bunt over the course of his career, but at this stage of his career, with retirement right around the corner, they may be asked to put down a bunt right here, move that potential go-ahead run into scoring position for the top of the order. Just had a little chat with Chris Woodward down the third baseline. We'll see how the Dodgers play it here.
Forever here, a Philly favorite, that's for sure. Chase Utley, a first-round pick by the Phillies out of UCLA back in 2000. Long Beach native, will retire as an LA Dodger. He has not had a base hit since July 30th. He's been out for a while with left wrist inflammation. Came back from the DL at the beginning of this month, and since he's returned, he's 0 for 16. Change up low. Utley doesn't bite. 1-0. 41 plate appearances as a pinch hitter this year, and Utley is hitting .351 in this role. 39 years old. He'll be 40 in December. Fastballs, a strike, 1-1. Looks like Ziegler is ready in the bullpen. You've got the left-hand batting Jock Peterson on deck. Wouldn't bite on the changeup again. Floro, the right-hander, has been warming up for a while. Alexander, the lefty, pitched in the ball game last night. Two and two.
Good changeup. That's a pitch Bracho has been using more and more as we've gotten deeper and deeper into the season. He's had more confidence in that pitch, especially effective against those lefties.
Peterson waits for his turn. 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Tried to change again. He's running full 3 and 2. Mike Butcher, Jerry Narin, Torey Lavello. Hernandez takes off. Utley lifts it in the air to left. Peralta's there. Hernandez standing right in front of that second base bag. Gets back to first. 1 out. And here comes Peterson.
Left fielder, Jock Peterson.
So we've had a Buehler in this game, and we've had a Peterson. 7 hits for the Dodgers, 4 for the Diamondbacks. Tied 2-2 here in the 7th. There's that changeup you mentioned. It's a big game in the National League postseason race right now. The Cardinals are trailing the Brewers 12-4 in the 9th inning in St. Louis, while the Rockies are beating up the Phillies 10-3. They're in the 8th at Colorado. So if those two scores hold, the Rockies will move into that second National League wild card spot. And if the Dodgers lose this one, they'll only be a half game out in the division. 0-2 on Peterson with Turner on deck. Cubs have got to be nervous about Milwaukee. Chicago hosting the Pirates. They trail Pittsburgh 6-0 at Wrigley Field. Racho trying to put away Peterson. Here's the 0-2. Got him. Elevated that fastball. He chased it and strikes out. 2 down.
Well, you know, partner, obviously the Diamondbacks wish they were playing for the postseason, but since they've been eliminated, then the next best thing is to eliminate the Dodgers. Joe Morgan back in 1982 hits a 3-run homer. Who's that guy that just scored?
Hey, that's Bob Brenly.
He's excited. Yeah, the Dodgers were 1 game behind the Atlanta Braves, who had lost earlier that day. So if the Dodgers beat the Giants, it would have been a flat-footed tie in the National League West, but the 3-run homer by Joe Morgan eliminated the Dodgers. There were 47,000 people at Candlestick that went crazy.
You look like Carlton Fisk there. Back after this. Open a gorgeous night here. Brad Ziegler trying to maintain this 2-2 tie and get the final out of the 7th inning. His 80th appearance of the year. He'll face Justin Turner with Kike Hernandez at first and 2 outs. Ziegler in the ballgame last night struck Turner out in the 7th inning. Turner tonight singled in the 3rd, 1 for 3. That's the guy who since the All-Star break has hit .374. There's a strike, says Marty Foster. It's 1-1. Sinker misses low. It's 3-1. Max Muncy, the on deck hitter. This is Brad's inning. D-backs bullpen is quiet. Bracho responsible for Hernandez at first. He had the RBI single that tied the game. He did not go, says Mark Ripperger. And so Turner works a walk, 2 on and 2 out, and here comes Muncy.
First baseman, Max Muncy.
And we talked about it earlier in the ballgame. Max Muncy against Brad Ziegler last night in that 7th inning. An RBI single to the opposite field, way away from what he normally does, but took a Brad Ziegler sinker on the outside part of the plate and shot it into left field for an RBI.
Muncy tonight has walked and struck out twice. Hernandez at second, Turner at first, 2 outs. D-backs have 3 infielders on the first base side against Muncy. Punches one over there foul. Cardinals have lost. Brewers beat them 12-4 in St. Louis. The Rockies lead the Phillies 10-3 in the 8th inning, so Colorado getting set to claim that 2nd National League wild card spot. The Dodgers loss here tonight moved the Rockies within a half game of the division lead. Brad's ahead 0-2. There's Alex Verdugo, the Tucson native. Got into the ball game late last night. Swing and a miss. He got him. We stretch at Chase Field. D-backs, Dodgers tied at 2.
Big strikeout right there of Max Muncy by Brad Ziegler. Let's take a look at the pitch by pitch. A couple of sinkers fouled off to the left side. And then Brad pulls a string on a slow breaking ball at 76. Gets a swing and a miss from Muncy. Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game.
Daniel Descalso will lead it off against the new Dodger pitcher. It's the lefty Scott Alexander, who appeared briefly in the ball game last night. Came on to get Eduardo Escobar to start the 8th, the only batter he faced. Austin Barnes takes over behind the plate after they pinch ran for Grandal, so a brand new battery for Dave Roberts. Descalso so far 0 for 2. He has twice flied out to left. There's the strike. Daniel scuffling right now. He's hit a 3 for 29 skid at the plate. Dodgers took a 1-0 lead in the second. Cody Bellinger a long home run off Matt Cook. And for the longest time it was 1-0. D-backs answered in the bottom of the 6th. A 2-out 2-run double by David Peralta. D-backs had a 2-1 lead. Silvino Bracho gave it right back. Top 7. Grandal tripled. Hernandez singled him home. And here we are tied at 2. Fastball misses in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Daniel this year against lefties about 280. He's homered off left-handers 4 times this year. AJ on deck, then it's Chris Owings. And he gets Descalso on a low fastball. And once again, that'll be the only batter that Alexander faces. Here comes Dave Roberts with a couple of right-hand batters coming up. Another pitching change in the bottom of the 7th, tied at 2. Back after this.
Score 5 runs or more. Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Just a beautiful night at the ballpark. Roof and outfield panels have been open since the beginning of the ball game. Say cheese. Wait, do we get it? No, did you hit focus? Oh, the flash was on. New pitcher for the Dodgers, the right-hander acquired in July from Cincinnati, Dylan Floro, who has done an outstanding job in the back end of this bullpen for LA. A 2.11 ERA, his 54th appearance of the year. And since making his Dodger debut July 8th, he's given up only 4 runs in about 28 innings of work. Base is empty. 1 out. Here's A.J. Pollock.
Floro with a little bit of an unusual setup there as he gets his sign from Austin Barnes. Hiding behind that glove. Looks up toward the heavens and then back down to his target.
It's kind of like a sideways right-handed Andy Pettit. Andy used to hold the glove in front of his face like that and occasionally tip his pitches, but yeah, Floro's at an angle hiding behind that mitt. You can't see me.
Pitchers.
The invisible. Well, it's been a really good acquisition for LA. Fastball's low. It's 2-1. Acquired in a 4-player trade from Cincinnati on July 4th. He was pitching well with the Reds when the Dodgers picked him up. Started out the year at AAA Louisville in the Cincinnati system. This is fouled back near the Dodger dugout and in the seats.
And as always, being the paranoid former catcher, former coach, former manager, what's to keep him from expectorating on the baseball while he's holding his glove up there in front of his face? You can't see what he's doing.
It's an awfully big word.
It is. What's to keep him from spitting on the ball?
Yes, he's famous for his expectorating ball. Wait, what?
I mean, seriously, you know, watch this. He put his glove up in front of his face, look up to the heavens, and then right there.
You are a little paranoid, but you make a good point. There's nothing, I think, is the answer. AJ reaches down and pokes it into right. He's 2 for 3. He's starting to come around at the plate, AJ Pollock. Chance for CO now, who has walked and hit into a double play. And Owings' bat has been very effective lately. He doubled and scored last night. He's got 6 hits in his last 3 games. Well, he didn't like that baseball, so he threw it out. Dylan Floro. D-backs were down 1-0. Bottom 6. Suddenly with 2 outs, John Jay singled, Marte drew a walk, Peralta had a 2-out 2-run double that gave them the lead. Dodgers tied it in the top half of this inning on a Grandal triple and a Hernandez single. Dodgers 2 runs, 7 hits. They've left 7. D-backs 2 runs, 5 hits. They've left 2. Fastball missed away. AJ not running like he used to, but still an effective base stealer down there with Dave McKay at first. Pollock 11 for 13 in his stolen base attempts this year, if you're thinking about getting him started. He's got that oven mitt on, protecting that left thumb fractured back in the middle of May. AJ holds. Owings drives it to left center, and that ball is down. AJ going to run right through the side. Now he puts on the brakes. Tony Perez-Chica had the stop sign way up over his head. AJ almost didn't see it.
That ball is absolutely smoked into the gap. A tailing fastball worked its way right back onto the barrel of Chris Owings' bat. Peterson can't get there. Bellinger backing up the plate does get to the ball. His throw is a lollipop back to the infield, but Tony Perez-Chica, as you said, had the stop sign up. But you can see AJ was looking down at the base. I mean, there's a certain timing as a runner. Eventually, you have to pick up that base, make sure you hit the inside corner before heading for home plate. And Tony threw up the stop sign at the same time AJ was looking down for the bag at third. Fortunately, he saw it immediately after hitting the base.
Oh, a double for CO. Second and third, one out. Eduardo Escobar will hit for John Ryan Murphy. And the Dodgers will bring the infield in. Escobar 270, 22 homers. They have first base open, so they'll walk Escobar. The pitcher spot is right now. There's nobody out in the on deck circle except for John Jay, who would be batting next. Let's see who grabs a bat and comes on out. It's going to be Ildemaro Vargas. Remember, Christian Walker got hit in the face last night, so he's down for the rest of the year. They don't have Patrick Kivlahan, who is not here. He's on paternity leave. So that's two key right-hand bats that Torey Lovullo is missing here tonight. So Vargas will get up there and hit. The switch hitter batting from the left-hand side. Bases loaded, one out. Vargas 1 for 13 this year.
And of course, a pinch hitter will require a visit from the pitching coach, Rick Honeycutt, to talk about the scouting report for Vargas. And see how the Dodgers play this defensively. There was a little confusion there. The corner infielders initially were playing at double play depth. They told them to come into the baseline, but they backed up the middle infielders to double play depth. See if they use that same alignment when they come out of this meeting.
Well, it's a final in Colorado. The Rockies have beaten the Phillies 10-3. That combined with a Cardinals loss at home to Milwaukee gives the Rockies the second National League wild card. And should the Dodgers lose this ball game, Colorado would only be a half game behind LA for the NL West lead. AJ's at third, CO's at second, Escobar's at first. Bases full, one out. We are tied at 2 in the 7th. And Vargas will hit for the pitcher. Base hit. D-backs grab the lead right back. Ildemaro Vargas makes it 3-2.
Apparently the scouting report on Vargas was throwing my first pitch fastball up and out over the plate, and he rips it into left center field. Owings had to hold up momentarily at second base to make sure that line drive got over the head of Manny Machado. Nicely done.
Dave Roberts will pull Floro with John Jay coming up. The bases are still full of Diamondbacks, and they lead it 3-2. Trying to beat LA. Back after this.
D-backs take a 3-2 lead and threatening for more with one out. The bases loaded here in the 7th inning. A D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-the-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
4 straight have reached with one out. Ildemaro Vargas, a big pinch hit RBI single to make it 3-2 Diamondbacks. John Jay the hitter. So here's the lefty Alex Wood, who lost his rotation spot. He's made only 3 relief appearances all year, and he inherits a big-time mess. Owings is at third, Escobar is at second, Vargas at first. One out, a run is in. Jay singled and scored in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. Well, we got a fastball right down Main Street that time, 0-1. John, a .272 hitter. That's a .245 batting average against lefties. Lays off a breaking ball. D-backs lead it 3-2, each team with 7 hits. Wood got that fastball in on the hands, and he's ahead of ball in 2 strikes. Ketel Marte, who's had a big series so far, is on deck. He would be next. Yohan Lopez, who has looked better and better every time out. Warming up with the Sanderson Ford bullpen. They've already hit for the pitcher Ziegler. 1-2 on Jay. And as we've seen, John Jay, especially in these situations, he will drive you crazy. He will foul off one pitch after another. And really, he's got a gift for extending these at bats. That's tapped to first. Muncy coming home. They get 1. The force on Owings. And Marte will bat with the bases loaded. Marte, who had a big night last night, a double shy of the cycle. He knocked in 3. Tonight he has singled, walked, and scored a run. And he is batting from the right-hand side, a switch hitter who is batting almost .320 this year as a right-hand batter. Dave Roberts, at least according to the numbers, should have a right-hander in there right now, but he's got the lefty Wood. Marte 100 points better this year, hitting from the right side. And it's not like he doesn't have plenty of pitchers to choose from. Their entire 40-man roster is here in uniform. Yes, he went, says Mark Rippiger. No balls and 2 strikes.
I think he had so much forward movement with his body. It kind of fooled Rippiger down there at first base. It was very close.
Here's the 0-2. He bounced it. Everybody's got to stay put. It rolled well over near the D-back dugout. And Escobar kind of froze down there at third. It rolled away from Barnes. Watch Escobar at third base. Too late.
Yeah, a little too late. I don't think he realized how hard that ball hit off of Austin Barnes. That was rolling at a pretty brisk pace over toward that third base dugout.
Now 1-2 count on Ketel Marte. Boy, if he can find a gap right here, this place will go nuts.
I mean, one thing's for sure, if you're Eduardo Escobar, you do not want to run into an out at home plate with one of your hottest hitters lately at the plate.
Got to be sure. Barnes couldn't corral that one, and Marte lives to find another day. It stays 1-2.
Boy, make this a big play in the game. Rattled around the mitt, popped out.
That would have got Wood out of a bases loaded jam. Instead, we'll keep going. Bounced a changeup up there, and Ketel is back even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Peralta would be next. He had the big 2-out, 2-run double in the 6th. Ahmed, a right-hand bat available off the bench. Here's the 2-2. And to defend against that changeup down and away. Escobar's at third. Vargas is at second. Jay's at first. 2 outs. Tried to get him to bite on the fastball away, and he's worked it full. And now everybody will get an early start. 2 outs. Bases loaded. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ketel Marte and Alex Wood. Get him up. Turner is there. But the D-backs take the lead. It's 3-2. We head to the 8th. D-backs as we start the 8th inning. Coming up in October, hockey and basketball back on Fox Sports Arizona. October 4, the Coyotes' first road trip. They're in Dallas at 5. And October 6th, the home opener in Glendale against the Ducks. That begins with a 1-hour pregame show at 5 o'clock. And on October 17th, the Suns are back, their home opener against the Mavericks at 7. Catch all the action right here on Fox Sports Arizona. This will be an impressive and hopefully it's an impressive move by Torey Lovullo just to put Yohan Lopez in this situation. He worked on Sunday, worked 1 inning against Colorado, had 3 strikeouts. He has shown a devastating 98-mile-an-hour fastball, but he's got a 1-run lead. The veteran Chris Stewart takes over behind the plate. Lopez will face the big boys here. He gets Machado, Bellinger, and Puig, 4, 5, and 6, leading 3-2 in the 8th. And he has shown, besides that upper 90s fastball, a pretty fair slider. That was it right there. Machado so far 0 for 3. Lopez worked the 8th inning in Sunday's loss to Colorado. Came on, he struck out Arenado, struck out Parra, walked Ian Desmond, and then struck out Iannetta. So it was a pretty impressive outing, but this would be an even bigger hurdle right here given the situation. Look out at 97 under the chin.
I think his necklace hit him in the eye that time. Took a little extra time to get back in the batter's box.
Well, it's looks like he won an Olympic silver medal there or something.
Those are things that coaches and managers worry about. Head first slide and that big old M hits you in the face somewhere, pokes you in the eye.
And Machado drives it into left center, and it gets to the wall. Manny Machado doubles to start the 8th.
Waited on that slider really well, and not a bad pitch out there below the knees on the outside corner, but Machado reaches out and hooks it back to the gap in left center for a leadoff double.
Well, Machado had an RBI double in the 9th inning last night against Yoshi Hirano. He doubles to start the 8th, and now here's Bellinger, who homered in the 2nd. His 24th of the year, that off Matt Cook. D-backs put 3 defenders on the right side of the infield. In the air, shallow center, long run for AJ. He's got it. Eduardo Escobar has remained in the ball game. Escobar now at 3rd, replacing Chris Owens. Owens is in right, took over for John Jay. Here's Puig. Yasiel Puig 0 for 3.
That was a big out to get right there. The left-handed hitting Cody Bellinger, followed by a string of right-handed hitters here at the bottom of the Dodger order. But as we know, Dave Roberts has some weapons available off that bench from the left side.
Fastball at 97 hits the corner. It's 0-1. Here's Chris Owens, the new right fielder, replacing John Jay. Well, the more you see Yohan Lopez, the more you figure he's got to factor into next year's bullpen. A big year this year at Double-A Jackson. Trying to strand that leadoff double. Got him. He's looked good.
Oh, he just overpowers Puig right here. 97 down, 97 middle, 97 up. Our nationwide vision center's eye on the game. Keep it simple.
There comes Mike Butcher now to talk to Lopez. Pitcher's spot is up for Los Angeles. And Alex Verdugo will hit for Alex Wood. Verdugo flied out in his only at bat in last night's ball game. Well, here's Verdugo, the Tucson native, 2 for 8 as a pinch hitter this year. Machado, the tying run at second, 2 outs in the 8th. Fastball at 98 is in there, 0-1. D-backs in the bottom half of this inning will have Peralta, Goldie, Descalso due up 3, 4, and 5. 97. He tried to back leg it, almost fell over, and it's 0-2. Dodgers tonight 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. The 0-2 from Lopez. 1 for 7 with 4 strikeouts. Torey Lovullo likes to describe Yohan Lopez as gas and go. Here it comes on 1-2. Got him. 99. Lopez strands that double, and it stays 3-2 Diamondbacks.
Show D-backs Live presented by CenturyLink, and we were talking about what exactly to lead with on the post-game show. We like the clutch offense, but
I haven't said this in a few years. Gas.
That's
oh
right.
My goodness, Yohan Lopez.
Yohan Lopez.
I mean, rare back and throw it right by some good Dodger hitters. Impressive.
All of a sudden in this game, there are plenty of good things to talk about. Ooh. Let's see if the D-backs can close it out. Guys, we'll see you after the game.
You're right, Gracie. That was something to see. Yohan Lopez, new pitcher for the Dodgers right now. The left-hander Zach Roskup, who they got off waivers from the Rockies back in July. 15 games this year. The last 9 have been scoreless. Peralta gets it started. 3-2 bottom 8, and Brad Boxberger has started to warm up in the Diamondback bullpen. Looks like he will get the 9th. David had one of the game's biggest hits, a 2-out 2-run double in the 6th. That at the time made it 2-1 Diamondbacks. After they trailed 1-0 for most of the ball game. There is Boxberger in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Roskup is behind on Peralta, 3-0. He walked him. Leadoff man's aboard.
Receive 15% off at the Chase Field Team Shop when you use the card by Gila River Casino.
Well, it has not been Goldie's night. He was up 3 times. He struck out 3 times. He is not going to see the lefty as Dave Roberts runs out there to get yet another pitcher. Pedro Baez on his way in. We'll take a break. The Dodgers actually got their run in the 2nd inning. Cody Bellinger led off the 2nd with a solo homer. For the longest time it was 1-0. The Diamondbacks got the lead with a 2-out 2-run double from David Peralta in the 6th. Dodgers got the lead back in the 7th on a Kike Hernandez RBI single. Or they tied it up, I should say, and then Ildemaro Vargas had the base hit that put the D-backs ahead in the bottom of the 7th inning. Pedro Baez on now to face Paul Goldschmidt, and David Peralta is the runner at first. Nobody out. Baez's 52nd appearance of the year. Lays off a high fastball. Goldie right now stuck in a 1-for-17 slide at the plate. He has struck out in every at bat in this series. 1 last night, 3 tonight. Chased a slider well below the knees. It's 1-1. Boxberger continues to warm up in the bullpen. Dodgers will have Kike Hernandez, Austin Barnes, and Jock Peterson due up in the ninth. 8, 9, and 1. Another slider, another swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Checks in with Tony Perez-Chica at third. Tapper in the hole. Turner in front of Machado drops the ball. E5.
Wasn't hit real hard. Turner knew he had to rush that throw to second base to have any chance for the double play, and in his haste to get rid of the ball, he just lost a handle.
Keep in mind the Dodgers know the Rockies have won. Colorado beat the Phillies 10-3. A Dodger loss cuts their NL West lead down to a half game. Here's Descalso, 0 for 3. First two have reached in the D-backs eighth. So many times in his 2-year tenure here with the Diamondbacks, Daniel Descalso has come through with a big hit in just this situation, time and time again. He's got Peralta at second, Goldie at first. Machado, the shortstop, is right in David's back pocket at second. Now he backs off. Change up, 1-1. Daniel fighting it a little bit lately. He's 3 for his last 30. There's Machado right there. Hop on board the freight train, Manny. Fly ball, backs up Peterson in left. That's the first out in the eighth. Here's AJ now. AJ's had a really good series. He homered last night, his 20th of the year. He singled twice and scored a run tonight, 2 for 3. In his last 10 games, he has homered in 4 of them. 20 homers ties his career high.
Even though you had the left on right matchup there, I think I would have bunted right there. Honest to God, the way the offense has been sputtering lately, you've got a closer coming in that's been sputtering himself lately. I'd have played for one more run in this ball game.
And to your point, Pollock and Owings have 2 of the hottest bats in the lineup right now. We've got AJ up there and CO on deck. Owings doubled his last time up.
I mean, Torrey's shown a lot of faith in Daniel Descalso all season for the last 2 seasons in situations just like this. But I think under the circumstances, the way things have gone recently for the Diamondbacks, it might be time to shuffle the deck a little bit, do things a little bit differently.
Torrey does not like to give up outs. Change up in the dirt. Barnes keeps it in front. Boxberger ready and waiting in the bullpen. That one really sailed on Baez. 2 balls and a strike on A.J. Pollock. A.J. headed for free agency this winter. Tomorrow night, hopefully not, but it might be his final home game as a Diamondback. Series finale tomorrow night. Greinke and Stripling. The 2-1 from Pedro Baez. Couldn't check. 2-2. Baez really working down below the knees with both that changeup and slider. CO on deck.
Well, that makes those pitches especially effective when you've thrown 97 up eye level. Go right back down to the bottom of the zone with off-speed pitches.
Yeah, plus you know you could get 97 in your ear. Tap to third. Turner one more time. They get 1 and they can't turn the double play. Hit 2 slowly to third. Oh, it's up to Owings. Double to the gap in left center his last time up. He walked back in the third. Runners on the corners and 2 outs. AJ got to get that left thumb all taped up down there, and we're set to go. Here's that high heater. 1-0. Boy, Chris, since his recall from Reno, 8 for 22 at the plate. So he's been an effective hitter lately. Pollock takes off. Got a big jump. No throw from Barnes. And AJ's in at second. Now a single can score 2. Boy, you know he wants to win this one real bad. Couldn't lay off the high fastball, and it's 1-2.
The Dodger middle infielders are giving A.J. Pollock all the room he wants out there at second base. He can get a ginormous secondary lead. Should be able to score on anything hit to the outfield.
Lays off that time. Couldn't get him to bite twice in a row, and CO's back even 2-2. Escobar hopefully gets his chance. Oh boy, he spiked a changeup about 4 feet in front of the plate. But Austin Barnes able to block it, and now it's full 3-2.
Oh, what a great play by Austin Barnes. That one was ticketed for the backstop. It hits way out in front of home plate, but Barnes stays right in front of it and keeps the ball right there at home plate.
All right, check the chart. What do you throw Owings in this situation? skied it. Foul ground, third base side, Turner. Well, one run's going to have to be enough for Brad Boxberger. We head to the ninth after this. And on to start the ninth inning with a 3-2 lead is Brad Boxberger, the right-hander. Kike Hernandez will lead it off for LA. Looks like Chris Taylor is in the on-deck circle, set to hit after Hernandez. Got some defensive changes. Nick Ahmed takes over at shortstop. Ketel Marte slides over to second, replacing Daniel Descalso. So here is Hernandez. Hernandez had an RBI single off Silvino Bracho in the seventh. And tied the game at 2. He's 1 for 3. Boxberger last pitch Saturday against Colorado. Gave up a single of the first batter he faced. Issued a bases loaded walk later in that inning to Chris Iannetta through 20 pitches. And breaking ball is there at the knees, says Marty Foster, and it's 0-2. Chris Taylor on deck. He would hit for the catcher Austin Barnes. Base hit. Tying runs aboard. And Taylor will hit. Taylor 253, 17 homers. He singled and scored a run last night. Big game for the Dodgers. The Rockies have already won. They beat the Phillies 10-3. Colorado takes that second National League wild card spot from St. Louis. The Cardinals lost to the Brewers at home tonight, 12-4. A Dodger loss cuts their division lead down to a half game over the Rockies. He did not go, says Mark Ripperger. Taylor is leading the National League in strikeouts, but he's had a pretty good month here. He's hitting over 360 in September. Here goes Hernandez. He got a good jump, and Stewart throws it into center field. Well, it's been a while since the veteran Chris Stewart was back there. And now the tying runs at third with nobody out.
Huge jump over there at first base. That forced Chris Stewart to really rush his throw to second base. Looked like he didn't have a good handle. That ball sailed right out of his hand into center field.
And the infield will come in. A 2-0 count on Taylor. Took a big cut of the slider. Boxberger is usually fastball changeup. We've seen several breaking balls so far. That was another one right there, and it's 2-2. Closer Kenley Jansen and Kenta Maeda, both of whom worked last night, warming up in the LA bullpen. Another slider from Boxberger. It's full 3-2. Peterson on deck. Deep to right center field. And one hops the wall, and we are tied at 3.
Tried to go to that slider once again, left this one up over the heart of the plate, and Taylor bangs it into that gap in right center. Man, oh man, oh man.
And now the go-ahead run is in scoring position. Still no outs. And here is Jock Peterson, the leadoff man. Peterson walked in the third. He's 0 for 3. Now the blue people starting to make some noise here. They've been quiet for most of the night. Way out in front of a changeup. Boxberger has got to dig deep and figure out a way to keep this a tie ball game. Bullpen is quiet. In the air, left center. Peralta gets over there. Taylor will stop and hold at second. 1 out. And here comes the Red Menace, Justin Turner. Turner singled in the third. He walked in the seventh. 1 for 3 tonight. Taylor at second, 1 out.
Well, you do have a base open at first with one out in the inning, and the free swinging Max Muncy in the on deck circle. If you fall behind Turner here, you might think about putting him on intentionally.
Throws a fastball below the knees for ball one. Checking those matchups. Taylor really dancing around back there. Yanks a fastball, and it's 2-1. Eldemaro Vargas got the big D-back hit. A pinch hit RBI single in the 7th had made it 3-2. Now we're all even at 3. That one's fouled away. Another slider from Boxberger. He does not usually throw that pitch as often as we've seen it tonight. Muncy on deck. He has struck out 3 times tonight. Taylor takes off for third, and Turner fouls that one away. He had that bag stolen.
Yes, he did. Got a great jump out there at second base, but with a 2-strike count, Justin Turner's got to protect the plate, and that one's a little too close to take. He just got a piece of it and fouled it off.
Taylor takes off again and again. Turner fouls it off. Now Ahmed will check in with Boxberger from his shortstop spot. Two and two on Justin Turner. Taylor holds at second. That is grounded to third. Escobar looks him back, throws him out. 2 down. And Max Muncy is the hitter. Muncy tonight walked in the first, then struck out 3 times. D-backs will overload the right-hand side of the infield. Ahmed, the shortstop, on the first base side of second. Marte will back up at the outfield grass. And that one is hit high and deep to right field. Owings is over there, and he's got it. And Boxberger gives up the lead, but we stay tied 3-3. had a walk-off to beat these Dodgers. That was a 5-hour, 45-minute marathon, the longest game in the history of this ballpark. And Kike Hernandez, a single, a stolen base, and a run scored send us to the bottom of the ninth, tied at 3. New battery for LA. Kenta Maeda takes over on the mound. Rocky Gale is the new catcher. And Eduardo Escobar will lead off the Diamondback ninth.
Saw Maeda for 2/3 of an inning in the ball game last night. He struck out Ketel Marte and then hit Christian Walker in the face. Got a ground ball to get out of the inning, but really let one get away to Walker.
Ahmed double switched into the ball game as the on deck hitter. And then the catcher spot, Chris Stewart. Escobar was walked intentionally as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. He's ahead 2-0. Got a fastball up. Took a big hack. This is his power side, a switch hitter.
Yeah, Escobar was trying to end it right there. Got a pitch up in the zone, trying to elevate to right field.
22 homers this year, a career high 17 coming as a left-hand batter. Fastball away, lays off. He's ahead 3-1. Ahmed on deck. Dodgers looking for win number 89 on the year. D-backs with 79 wins, trying to remain above 500. 3-2 from Kenta Maeda. And there it goes. Ball game. Does that feel good? They beat him back April 2nd with a walk-off in 15. And here on September 25th, way at the end of the year, it's Eduardo Escobar's walk-off homer. Gives the D-backs a 4-3 lead. They snap the 4-game losing streak.
And had to feel especially good for Eduardo Escobar. Remember back in that 7th inning, he was on at third base. A ball got away from Austin Barnes. He did not score from third base, possibly could have, but he makes it a moot point right here, trying to go deep the entire at bat. Finally got one he could keep fair down that right field line. Nice going.
Well, the fight for postseason had turned into the fight for 500. A loss would have dropped them to 79 and 79. But they maintain that winning record. Win number 80 is in the books, and they have a chance to win the series with Greinke on the mound tomorrow night in the home finale. Kate standing by with Eduardo Escobar.
Thank you, guys. Well, congratulations. The team gets the win in dramatic fashion. What's it mean for the Diamondbacks to get the W tonight against a team you have such a storied past with, your division rival in the Dodgers?
Oh, you know, it's so great. Great game today. I great win, you know. A lot of energy, you know. So the most important win today, you know. So happy. We get our home and walk out, unbelievable. That's great. So happy.
Yeah, you guys win it away like this. You're literally feeling how sweet victory is right now. How important is it for the team to just finish this season on a high note, above the 500 mark, hopefully?
You know, it's important. You know, every game is important. You know, so I'm so sad. You know, because I know que this year, bro. Stay believing this team. Have a great team, great people here. You know, hey, come back next year. Everybody ready. You know, so make people happy here.
Right, and you shared with me that when you joined the Diamondbacks, walking into this clubhouse, it felt like a family from day one for you. So now here, you guys are at the end of the season, and I know it didn't finish the way you did, but inside that clubhouse, what is it like? What is it like to be in the D-back uniform?
Hey, you know, I'm so happy my first day here, concentrated, you know. So all people say welcome to me here in San Diego, you know. So great people, you know. From office, take care of my family, everybody take care of my family, you know, take care of me. It's so much important, you know. I'm happy right now here. So win today is so much important.
Yeah, and then lastly, what was your approach when you went up to the plate? I was watching you step into the batter's box, and it looked like in your eye you were ready to end this one.
No, you know, I go to the home plate. So look at one pitch, you know. So my first swing foul, you know, 3-2, you know. I'm waiting for, he throw me, change a hanger right there, got a good contact.
All right, congratulations.
Arigato, Fogo Power.
All right, let's head back up to the set, and guys, you're good to go. And Jody, Gracie, you guys take over now, because we all know it's great to talk about a victory here at Chase Field.
No question, Kate. That is exactly what the doctor ordered right there. He had to get the Fogo Power in there. 23rd home run of the season for Eduardo Escobar. 5th walk-off win of the season. And, you know, Kate asked him about that. What is this feeling like? This is what everyone needed to see, right, Gracie?
Yeah, and you could tell when he was up to the plate, I think he was probably thinking about the base running mistake he made, not scoring on that wild pitch. He was trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. All 3 swings he took, he finally got it on that 3rd swing.
We didn't know how the inning was going to unfold. He did not waste too much time against Maeda right there. Got in the 3-2 count. He was
looking to pull the ball in the air and in this thing, and he did it. Good for him.
It was great.